Imagine being told you're not good enough for television, fired from your first TV job, criticized for your looks, and told you'd never make it on screen. That was Oprah Winfrey in her early 20s. But instead of walking away, she transformed rejection into resilience and went on to become one of the most powerful women in media history. This is the story of how a young woman who was told she had no future built an empire of influence. Oprah's story began far from the spotlight. She was born in rural Mississippi in 1954, into poverty, to a teenage single mother. Her childhood was marked by hardship, instability, and trauma, but she found comfort in words, reading, speaking, storytelling. By 19, she had already broken barriers, becoming one of the youngest and first black female co-anchors at a local Nashville news station. But her dream job quickly turned into disappointment. Managers told her she was too emotional, too dramatic, not the right fit for the polished world of news. Her ability to show empathy, the very thing that made her special, was seen as a flaw. She was taken off the anchor desk, effectively fired. For most people, that would have been the end. But for Oprah, it was the beginning. Reassigned to a small local daytime talk show, Oprah could have seen it as a humiliation. But something surprising happened. On the talk show stage, her empathy wasn't a weakness. It was her superpower. She connected deeply with guests, not as an interviewer, but as a fellow human being. Audiences felt it. They saw themselves in her laughter, in her tears, in her honesty. Word spread. By the mid-1980s, she was recruited to Chicago to host AM Chicago, a struggling morning program. Within months, Oprah's presence flipped the ratings upside down. Competitors who had dominated the market for years were suddenly losing to her. In 1986, the show was renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show, and from that moment, nothing was ever the same. By 1986, Oprah was a national figure, but her power didn't stop with TV ratings. She created Harpo Productions, her own company, one of the first times a black woman in America owned her media empire. She built magazines, launched networks, and used her platform to inspire, educate, and challenge. Her show became more than entertainment. It tackled racism, abuse, addiction, and healing. She didn't just interview celebrities. She gave a voice to everyday people with extraordinary stories. Over 25 years, The Oprah Winfrey Show aired in 150 countries, reached tens of millions of viewers daily, and became the highest-rated daytime talk show in history. The young woman once told she wasn't fit for TV became the world's first black female billionaire. So what can Oprah's story teach us? First, rejection isn't the end. It's redirection. Losing the anchor desk led her to the stage that made her a star. Second, your weakness can be your strength. Oprah's emotional style was once mocked, until it became her greatest gift. And third, authenticity wins. By showing up as herself, Oprah built trust with millions. The lesson? Don't bury what makes you different. That's your magic. Oprah Winfrey was told she'd never make it on television. She proved them wrong and built an empire. What about you? What rejection in your life turned out to be redirection? Share your story in the comments. And remember, failure isn't final. It's fuel. Subscribe for more stories of legends who turned setbacks into comebacks.